Right then, are we live? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our Writer's Showcase for Deviant Poetry. Today, unfortunately, my lungs are very unwell, but I shall do my utmost to present to you your poetry. Now, before we begin, I'm going to just give a few announcements, and don't mind General Grievous coughing in between. My journal's in the background. All new episodes. But first thing I'm going to say is that today we've got a bit of a special episode for you. And you will notice I'm using my English accent right from the start because it's this exciting. Basically, I've written an epic poem, and one of our group members, Wandra Fen, has replied to it. So we ended up doing a bit of a back and forth, and it resulted in 4 epic poems that I'm going to read for you at the very end of the show. Other than that, we have about 6 new artists, 6 new poets to introduce to you today. And thank you, before I begin, to Sakurai. She did the cover for the most recent episode. It hopefully sort of refreshes the show so that it doesn't get too stale where you're always seeing the same cover. So, are you ready? Because we're going to get right into it. Now, our first artist for today, D. Steffi with Hello Sandman. And let's take a look at her gender. She's female, so it will be her page. The link is in the description. Yes, I'm back to my normal accent, but that's going to change in a second because we're going to get right to it. You ready? If only I could sleep every night with poetry on my lips, the scent of unwritten words clinging to my pulse, my lungs. Then perhaps I would feel the weight of the wings I always thought I had. But no one can ever be that star-kissed. We are all both ends of the spectrum, and all the shades in between, the unconscious version of standing on a boundary, 2 places at once, racing thoughts without a stop sign. And maybe that's the grand plan for all the universe's emotions, to be melded into one soul, one space, one person, for joy to be seen only in sadness, like lovers teasing, almost touching hands. It's a dance on center stage, with an audience of none, but I'll move anyway, I'll flow, and maybe in doing so, I'll see poetry in my dreams. So that was Hello Sandman by D. Steffi, very lovely piece. And we are now going to move on to the second poet, and don't forget, her link is in the description. You have to check her out. Definitely you want to check out all the artists that we showcase here because they are good. And we do actually do some quality checking. So, I mean, we don't want to exclude anybody, but we definitely try and choose the best pieces, and then we put them all into the big schedule for being read. Okay, next one. Untitled by Mieren. Male from the United States. Mieren. Okay, so this is Untitled by Mieren. You have to check out his page. The link is in the description. You ready? I regret my lateness for the date you never knew. The words we never shared. I think we'd have a few. But I was too consumed with the world that was me, and arrived to an empty table of a book and chai tea. Quite a sad one, actually. Reminds me of me. So I used to be very narcissistic, I suppose, and got to a stage where, yes, I was too consumed with me, and I arrived back to an empty table. But who cares? Moving on! We now have The Deaf by Adam Black 13. And this is male. His name is Russell Moss. You have to check out his page. He's got a lot of other poetry here. And yes, I sound like an advertiser because that is what I am. Well, not really. I mean, I'm just trying to play that up, but, you know, whatever. Okay, this is The Deaf by Adam Black. You ready? She was a burning ring of fire, and how could I ever know that I would be caught in crossfire, absorbed into a brilliant glow? She's pretty as a summer rose, her eyes reveal what her love means. She cannot hear the words I say, and yet she reads right through my dreams. I have pushed myself too far. There's nothing more I have to give. As she, a brightly burning star, is all the flame I need to live. She's beautiful as summer sun, and all my love her heart contains. She'll never hear a word I say, as all my heart ignites in flames. And so for those who cannot hear, it does not change your burning flame. Please do not cry a single tear, for all the world is yours to claim. Her fiery eyes do not give lies. Sometimes they haze, sometimes they read into my gaze, to my every need. Sometimes they burn, sometimes they bleed, until I learn and I take heed. She shows a feat, with rhythm found, without a beat, without a sound. She sings a song, it's silent though, and how it goes, I'll never know. She'll suffer through, though she can't hear. To make love true, she needs no ear. So, that was a really beautiful poem. It's called The Deaf by Adam Black. Reminds me of a manga I read about the deaf girl and the guy. Oh, that was touching, man. I gotta go find that and read it again. Why are you giving me feels, man? I should be reading poetry. I should be all excited, man. I shouldn't be feeling. I'm gonna kill the heart. Don't want to feel anymore. Okay, so moving on. We've got our fourth poem for today. This is Endless Senseless War by Four Eyes, No Soul. Four Eyes, Zero Soul, technically. My name is redacted. Okay, so he doesn't have a name. But he's male from the United States. Don't worry, I know who you are. Shout out. Thank you for following me. He watches me. So this is Endless Senseless War by Four Eyes, No Soul. You ready for this? Two armies, one dressed in blue and green, the other in brown and grey. Each side composed of billions of soldiers, each with their own hopes, dreams, and a crippling fear of death. Unarmed, they must kill the enemy with their bare hands. Those who reach the battlefield rush over the corpses of those who came before, the bodies piling higher and higher. Since the battlefield is smaller than the armies, each soldier waits for it to be their turn to be called to the front lines, each hoping he won't be chosen, because the enemy will not stop coming. This is true for both sides. If those in command could speak to the other side, they'd realize there is no need for war. But they can't. Armies of blue and green and brown and grey charging over the fallen for eternity, snuffing out the lives of millions each day. The beach sure is lovely this time of year. So basically the inspiration for the poem was that grains of sand meet drops of water when the tide comes in. So thought I'd do like as deep an accent as I could and then switch at the end. So I hope you enjoyed that. It's a bit of a humorous, satirical kind of thing. Very symbolic, and that was just fun to do. So let me take a drink of water, because now we begin the March of the Mad King. Drinking water, la 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 la. Oh, much better. Alright, so this is our epic series. The first poem was started by me, so this is my poem. It's called The Demon Alone. Don't worry, my link is not in the description because this is about advertising other writers. So, are you ready? What happened to the wordsmiths of old? What happened to those who once wrote flowing rivers or scribed mountains of literary prowess? What happened to those brave knights who once challenged the Dark King? Now I have returned in vengeance, my heart burning with the flame of sin. I long to slaughter, to subjugate all to my dark whims, but how could I do this when there is no one left? The swordsmen of the pen, so weak and fragile, like newborn foals they must be nursed after the famine, and with no heroes left in a now barren world, who else can nurture life again but a forgotten and solitary Demon King. Oh, ancient heroes of forgotten stories, how I miss the fights we've had. And that was the first in the series. Then, this is Wander Fen. She replied with a challenge to Lonely King. This is her page. You definitely have to check it out. Okay, she's got another one later on. Excuse me. She just joined this week, so she could probably use more friends, watchers, whatever. Come check her out. Her work is absolutely fantastic. And now you're going to see the continuation of the epic and the rest of it. You write in verses, ode, lamenting, scribed upon pages yellowed like aged skin. How venerable you have become! Yet lost in your archaic tomes, you seem to have forgotten. We heroes never die. Perhaps our cloaks of ink and shadows have fooled your primeval eyes. Bemoan not, dear king, for we, masters of the word, have prepared for your burning vengeance. Our hands bear calluses, pens wielded as valiant swords, skin scarred with written mistakes, fingers blackened from pages smeared. For you, ourselves, we have changed. You dare call us fragile? We have stained our souls, dark, bleeding the ink in which we write. So be assured, we have prepared. Lest you forget, beloved Demon King, was it not we who gifted you that heavy crown? And the fact that she used "We heroes never die" makes me want to shout that line from Overwatch. Helvenstab nicht. I hope I pronounced that right. God, I'm so bad. Okay, so I responded with Castle of the Mad King. You ready? In the falling snow of a dreary winter, I see in the distance a spark of hope. A hero that may yet rise from the ashes of a once dead kingdom. So come to me, my fledgling poet, come into the castle of horrors and dread. My snapdragons wait with bated breath, my hydra spew their poison into the very air. For this cold heart of mine could only feel the barest of joy when it feasts upon thine. So bring to me your polished verses, your swords of wit and silver, plunge them into my flesh, and I beg you, let me feel once more. For what I seek is not chatter, not 140 characters, nor the bilious micro-poetry spewed as if it were drunk text to a forgotten lover. And in my mind I have wished only to revive this ancient art, to feel once more the glory of the winters past, when poets sundered verses and cracked even the toughest of hearts. I long for that inspiring conflict of sword and tooth, matched in wit and fury, for only when I am able to slay the unassailable can I truly feel alive. So come to me, my fledgling poets, let me see the flames of glory, they burn within your eyes, and know that I will be the demon that crumbles your kingdom of lies. And this is her response. You ready? Through the fields of ashen winter fall, do grave souls sing the champion's call. Arise, thy chosen, thy gifted, thy blessed. The demon king seeks a challenger, our behest. Amongst crumbled castles and frozen pyres, through ancient forest and treacherous mires, past catacombs sealed by riddled doors, to a hermit's hut upon tranquil shores. Tucked between shelves of parchment and ink, does write a practised poet with words as their drink. Epics of old hang immortal on the wall, while the mantle of a traveller rests in the halls. As the old masters are lost to musing dreams, ever so lonely does the solitary poet seem. But tales of battle lines, pages, numerous like sand, of heroes who felled armies, so valiant and grand. The door of the hut bursts open with a blast. In a whirlwind of paper, the poet stands fast. The call of champions rings out true and clear. So smirked the poet with not an inkling of fear. A lifetime prepared to be, of which the bards sing. The time had come at last to challenge the demon king. In a whirl of paper does the poet pen a note, a thing of magic, enchanted ink does it float. With a flourish of a hand, away the note flies, off to meet the king, it takes to the skies. The poet does nod and move through the hut, taking the mantle of a traveller, as they close the door shut. Quills, ink, and parchment fill the poet's pack, while a cloak of shadow does cling to their back. A long journey ahead, while their skill they further hone. The poet sets out their goal, the king's lonesome throne. On foot travels the poet, note flying ahead. Alas, you exclaim, written not what the note said. Smile does the poet, a glint in their eyes, as they spread their arms and shout to the sky. Prepare thy dragons, thy armies, thy scroll, for I am the one who shall topple them all. And that was a really amazing piece. A Letter to the Lonely King by Wanderer Fen. That was our epic series. It was just a lot of fun, doing the back and forth of those replies. I tried to separate the two accents as much as I can, so hopefully you like them both. Yeah, and if excuse me, don't worry, the cough in there was intentional. The one now was not intentional, but anyway. If you guys want to do your own, like, challenge the Demon King or whatever, I don't think I have the strength to read any more epics, but you can definitely do it for fun. It's just a lot of fun to mess around like that. And the reason why I did that was based on, like, the old days when I was, like, ultra competitive with the other poets on Deviant Art or something, and it was like, cringeworthy. But basically, there were a lot of skilled poets back in the day, and everyone was competing for the front page, and now, I don't know, there was a lot of cheating and backstabbing and stuff like that going on. And yeah, I guess that's what sort of killed the art for me. And then now that I'm back, it's all desolation and wasteland, and poets aren't even noticed anymore. So I don't know, man. I'm gonna do what I can to bring the glory days back, and I hope I can bring you all on that journey with me. So that's why we started the writer group. That's why Sakurai and I are working so hard. And yeah, just if you were read in this video, don't forget to share. Not just this reading video, but just one other video that you like. Share it on social media, share it in your journal, share it wherever, because that's how we grow. When people take notice of what I do here, then they're also going to notice what you're doing, what everyone has contributed to in all the reading videos, and we're going to keep making these videos. So yeah, we're definitely going to grow. And I think we're reaching new audiences all the time, because I'm advertising every day on Twitter, Tumblr, and it's just fun to know that now we can gather all these talented writers and give everybody a chance to be shown. So that's important to me now as the Mad King. And I just hope that you enjoy the next video. So this has been Deviant Poetry, our writer's showcase. I shall see you on the next episode.